Wrobel, right? He's completed five improv classes and a writing class and a stand-up class.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, all right.
So I go up to the mic and I go, "Hi, I'm Tom, and I'm bringing sexy back."
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. Hey, didn't Justin Timberlake just do that a few years ago? I'm not here to cast aspersions on Mr. Timberlake, but there are a couple of things that I know. One is that you can say anything you want in a song. It doesn't have to be true. I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, 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 because I'm a rocket man. Does anybody here really believe, really and truly, that Elton John is a rocket man? Well, I get it. That's a thinly veiled reference to his sexual orientation. So I guess that's not a good example. But, okay, let's give Justin Timberlake the benefit of the doubt and say that he actually did succeed in bringing sexy back. The other thing that I know is that sexy doesn't stay. Mr. Timberlake knows this. Jessica Biel didn't stay. No, sexy needs to be brought back repeatedly. So I talked it over with Sexy. I said, "Sexy, I'm bringing you back." And Sexy said, "Not in that outfit, you're not." And you wouldn't think that Sexy would sound like that, but yeah. People with Tourette's syndrome could say some mean things. So I was wondering the other day, is there like a positive kind of Tourette's syndrome? Where, you know, you're walking down the street and the guy passing you the other way says something like, "Gorgeous." "Nice tie." "Flattering haircut." So the other day I got mugged for the first time. First time, yay! Unless you count all those lunch money incidents in grade school. And high school. College was okay. But anyway, this guy sticks something in my back and he says, "Give me all your money and don't turn around." And I learned at that moment that when someone does that, there's a certain instinct that kicks in that goes in something like this. So, you know, the guy whacks me on the side of the head and he says, "Hey, don't you know what 'don't turn around' means?" And I'm thinking, well, if I know my 80s and 90s music trivia, and you people have no reason to believe that I don't, if you're ace of base, it means you don't want me seeing you crying. But if you're after the fire, it means, oh, there are commissars in town. My friend Kenneth is a midget and an alcoholic. He's in a 12-step program, and he's going to have to take like 30 to keep up. I'm a Kellognostic, which means that I don't believe that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I guess I shouldn't be so outspoken about my beliefs because the other morning I was in my kitchen, you know, not having breakfast. And the doorbell rings, and I'm going, it's 8:30 in the morning. Who's ringing my doorbell at 8:30 in the morning? So, you know, I go to the front door, and I part the curtains. Well, they're shears, really. And I see standing there these two clean-cut young men, white shirts, neckties, navy blue pants. One's got a book under his arm. The other one's holding the big plate of pancakes. Like, great. Jemima's witnesses. My girlfriend told me she'd been diagnosed with multiple personality disorder. I told her I wanted to start seeing other people. One time, some friends and I were going skiing, and we met up at my friend Greg's house in Kenosha, Wisconsin, the day before we were going to head up to Devil's Head. And 9 of us went to a local chain restaurant called the Village Inn. And the hostess seated us, the waitress brought us our menus, and then left our table, and we waited. And we waited. And eventually, 20 minutes or so later, the manager comes up to our table and says, "Your waitress is having some problems. I'm going to have to find you a different waitress." So then he leaves, and we're discussing it. Well, what kind of problems can a waitress be having? You know, Is it physical, mental? Is it boy trouble? Are the orders too complicated? Eventually another waitress comes by, and it quickly becomes evident to us that she is trying to use her vast mental powers to influence our ordering. My friend John says, "I'd like a Coke." She says, "You want an orange juice?" And he says, "You know, you're right, I do want an orange juice." And Greg says, "Small milk," and she says, "You want a large." Eventually she gets around to my side of the table, and she asks what I'd like to eat, and I'm like, "You don't know?" And then, of course, I immediately realized that she's merely a beverage psychic, and that's why she's working at the Village Inn and not out on the carnival circuit. But, you know, our food comes, and, you know, we eat, and our bill comes, and Greg's wife never got her carrot cake, despite mentioning this to several of the 11 Village Inn employees that came to our table during this meal. So we go to the front and we talk to the assistant manager or whoever the guy is running the cash register out front, and we say, "She didn't get her carrot cake." And he's like, "I can get you your carrot cake." And she says, "You know, it's too late, forget the carrot cake. I don't want the carrot cake, just take the carrot cake off the bill." And apparently this is an extraordinary undertaking at the Village Inn. And he says, "I'm not sure we can do that." So, you know, we're in front waiting by the counter, and they're in the back making phone calls to IBM. It's, whatever it takes to get that carrot cake off the bill. And God bless who was ever on the other end of the phone, because they finally did succeed and came, and, you know, we paid our bill and left. And as we're leaving, there were newspaper vending machines outside the entrance of this restaurant. And the day before, there had been a plane crash with survivors, and the Sun-Times was in there with the headline on that story, "Like being in hell." And we had just seen history repeat itself. Back when I was a hitman, I was offered a contract to kill Mr. Potato Head, but I had to turn it down because my parents taught me never to waste food. I gave away a bunch of stuff to Goodwill, and then I saw this homeless guy, and I thought, "Is that my shirt? He makes that look good. Maybe I should have kept that." That's all I got for today.